The Dallas Mavericks and Minnesota Timberwolves face off tonight. We'll go over some props and we'll take a look at the NHL and MLB on Friday, the 24th of May. We'll also take a look at what's going on this weekend here. We got the French Open that is starting on Sunday. That's big for us. You know, we're big into the tennis majors, and the tennis majors are a big source of units for us over the years. So looking forward to a big upcoming week. So we'll go over a few things. We'll go over some parlays and parlay pieces. If I could get you guys get started, let's hit the like button and leave us a comment. Love you guys for all the comments that you've been leaving. Yesterday was a tough day. I'll get into that a little bit later, but I always love logging in and seeing the different comments that you guys have. Great community, great people. We have some of the best comments on WagerTalk, so I really appreciate it. Let's just get right into what we're looking at for tonight here. So let's just focus in on the Timberwolves and the Mavericks here. One guy who's having success is Daniel Gafford. And when we look at some of these streaks, I mean, these streaks of him going over his points, rebounds, and assists are undeniable. I mean, this is 8 straight. He flew over this total in the first game against Minnesota. You can even isolate it just to his points. His points are around 7.5. He's been going over that. What I noticed about Daniel Gafford is we'll pull up his game log. 9 shot attempts. Boy, if I could guarantee that I was going to get 9 shot attempts for the rest of the series, that would just be the play. But I don't know. He only averaged 6.8. So that's a pretty big jump in field goal attempts for a guy that's only playing 21 minutes. 9 rebounds is a really good number. So that's kind of one of those things where when he's in there, he's like the guy who's going to be grabbing a bunch of the rebounds if Doncic isn't in there, because Gafford and Lively, I don't think play together. So Gafford is kind of an interesting one when we're looking at it. My worry is that this streak is unsustainable. Most streaks, they kind of come to an end after you get 8, 9 in a row. The books are sick of getting beat up by it. So he's not only been going over this 14.5 number, but he's been going way over. So I expect somewhat of a regression from Gafford just because the streak ends up unsustainable. So that's kind of what I was looking at for Gafford. I know that kind of goes against what I talked about was riding the streaks, but I haven't been playing Gafford, and I feel like I don't want to jump on here as a streak kind of comes to an end. There was a couple 3-pointers. I saw Josh Green made yet another 3-pointer. This is up to almost minus 200. Again, here we are, 9 games in a row. He doesn't shoot that many, but boy, when he does, he seems to always make one. He broke his streak last game about not having an assist. Maybe you go right back to that one. This is a guy that has had a lot of assists over the last, 30 games or so. And we're getting a little bit of discount. This was up around minus 180 in the last game just to have an assist. So this might be play worthy. He's out there enough where you would think he would just get 1 assist. So let's take a look at some of the other interesting things that I noticed. So the first one will go to Anthony Edwards. 3.5 made 3-pointers. He made 5 of them. I thought he took way too many threes. I wonder if that's going to be an adjustment where they say you need to shoot more than 2 free throw attempts in this series, man. You got to be attacking the rim. So he's kind of sporadic on his 3-pointers. And the books are telling you they expect an under here at minus 174. So they put it up to 3.5, but minus 174. The books are kind of telling you. So Anthony Edwards, I thought he was just way out on the perimeter too much. You need that explosiveness to get to the basket. I know Gobert sometimes clogs up the inside, but I expect that to be a little bit of an adjustment here. Kyrie, we finally get the big Kyrie game. He gets 30 points. So now the books are raising this to 23.5. Luka and Kyrie combined for so many points. It was 63 points of their 108. And you got to believe that the Timberwolves are just going to make a little bit of a concerted effort. I listened to the Ryan Russillo podcast. I thought he did a great job talking about how Kyrie really takes people off guard with his speed the first time you see him. And it reminds me of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has this insane record against the NFC. Like literally anytime he plays an NFC team, you just bet Baltimore Ravens money line, because the NFC team, it just takes an entire half for them to realize how fast he is and what they're doing on offense. And by the time they look up, they're down 28-0 at halftime and the game's over. So Kyrie, I wonder if we get a little bit of regression from Kyrie Irving on this one, as McDaniels and probably Edwards and a couple other guys just need to take a half step back so they don't get beaten off of the dribble. I know Kyrie, I know people have been playing his assist, and that 4.5 assists. If he's going to be shooting that much, he's not getting as much assists now. That's 3 games in a row that he's come under this 4.5 number. Let's also take a look at Luka, the other big name. Points, they got it at 29.5. He had 33. He took a ton of shots. His shooting was okay. I will say he just was able to back down the Timberwolves and get whatever he wanted kind of down low. So I don't know if we get the same kind of huge shot volume from, I mean, here, we can take a look at, so Lucas shoots 26 times. Kyrie Irving shoots 23 times. That's 49 of the 87 shot attempts. Now, it worked, but is that going to be able to get you 3 more wins against the Timberwolves? Because if one of these guys has a bad shooting night, or if the Timberwolves shut one of them down, can you depend on the other guy? So I don't know if I really believe that they're going to be getting this many shots compared to the rest of the team. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's time to just ride ride your stars, and that's what they do. But man, Luka, he did go over his points, rebounds, and assists barely. I still think this number is pretty high, and I expect the Timberwolves to have a little bit better defensive game plan once they look at the film. I wouldn't play a points. I wouldn't play a points, rebounds, and assist on Luka in this game either. So those were the only ones. Naz Reid, he had a nice game shooting. His point total is at 10.5. He had 15. I know he had a pretty good game from 3-pointers. I think the 3-pointers is at 1.5. Yeah, he made 3 of them. I don't know if that's replicable. So, all right, that is the NBA game. Let's take a look at the NHL game. Only a few things that I would take a look at in the game tonight. Our boy Trocheck, he came through. He gets over. Gustav Forsling, though, man. This guy has gotten over quite a bit, but the books are all over at -175. I think they've kind of priced us out of the market here. But Forsling has hit it 6 games in a row. And then on the flip side, Zibanejad, I did a free play video on Zibanejad. He keeps going under. He was barely under, but that's what we talked about with him. The books keep putting 2.5, and he just doesn't quite get there. Florida is really good at not allowing shots on goal, and they did it again. They didn't allow very many shots on goal, and Zibanejad's one of those guys from the Rangers who just landed on 2. So I find this series to be a little bit harder for points. Most of these points are I'm priced out of, so I can't really do much with them. I mean, you got -280s and -315s and -250s, and on the flip side, when we're just looking at Florida and the Rangers, when we're just looking at the points, I mean, Zibanejad again to have a point, like it's hit a lot recently, but he didn't get there against Florida. So books are maybe if you think this series is low scoring, maybe you take a sprinkle on Zibanejad under +140 the next few games and hope he doesn't get there. So other points that have not gotten there that have pretty good. Kachuk had a couple points there. So, but again, he's -195. So I've stayed away from the shots on goal throughout the NHL season, but I actually think that's the best way to do that in NHL. So, and I'll get to a parlay piece in the Edmonton Oilers game. Crazy overtime game. So, we'll go to the earned runs. There's a couple here I like. I'm going to be going over one of these on WagerTalk today. It is Matt Manning. So Matt Manning, he pitched really good against the Mets to start the season, and I'll actually here's his game log if you guys want to look at it. So He pitches really good against the Mets, 5.2 innings. Only he walks 4 batters, gets 3 strikeouts, no hits, no earned runs. You oh, what a great start. And then he just gets blown up. Minnesota, 5 hits, 4 earned runs. St. Louis, he only goes 4.2, 7 hits, 4 earned runs. And then Miami gets him for 9 hits and 3 earned runs. Arizona, 10 hits, 4 earned runs. And he's over 80 pitches in all of these games. So that's one thing I like. I don't think he gets a quick hook unless he really gets blown up, and then we cash the bet anyways. So this is a free play over at wagertalk.com. Matt Manning over 2.5 earned runs. And this is a Blue Jays team that has really started to kind of come alive with the bats. Take a look. They've scored 9 runs the last couple games. They did get shut out against Chicago, but before that, in 2 wins, they scored 9 and 5. In Tampa, they scored 4 in a loss. Tampa 3 in a loss. What I love is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 6 of these 7 games, they have gotten to over 2.5 earned runs to the starting pitcher. So they've been getting to the starting pitcher early and putting up good runs against them. So this might be a streak we might ride. Maybe the Blue Jays getting to the starting pitcher and taking the opposing starting pitcher of the Blue Jays over their earned runs. So that is what I have for some props. Thanks, guys, for watching. Make sure you hit the like button. Leave us a comment. Tell us what bets you like for this weekend. Tell us what props have been working for you. And do want to tell you guys, we do have an NBA and NHL pack that is up. I've got one best bet in each sport. Yesterday, we only had one bet. That was Drew Holiday over 13.5 points. He gets there, and so we have a nice cash in the NBA. And this continues just a really, really nice run in the NBA. I was looking back, and we're 34 and 24 in our last 58 plays we're just over 59% since February 25th. And that is a nice long-term streak that is something to really, really be proud of. And it's been a really, really nice source of units. The first part of the NBA season, I was kind of treading water. I took like a month off, and it's just been really, really good ever since. And we're coming off a nice win as well. Hockey's been good for the entire season. We've been up near the top of the leaderboard for basically the entire season. I believe I was number 1 for the regular season. So no surprise there that we keep continuing the hot run in NHL. We cashed the other night on our play. So that leaves us at, what is that, 32 and 22? That's over 59% as well since mid-February. So these are not short-term sample sizes. These are long-term sample sizes that these sports are really going well. And there's a pack up. It's only $19, and it gets you a best bet in both sports. So I would encourage everyone to take advantage of that for tonight at wagertalk.com. Have not messed with the spreads, have not messed with the totals, because you guys know my passion is the props and the parlays, and that's where the units are at. So we're still in the top 6, top 5 in total units in WagerTalk. And I did laugh. I saw a couple people pointing out that when we go on Wager Talk today and some of these other shows, and they say everybody's number 1 in something. Like, you guys are able to manipulate the numbers and say number 1. So I chuckled at that because, yeah, it's part of the industry and it's part of the business. But what I'm most proud of is 91 units profit last year, and we're well over 60 units for this year. So are we number 1? No, but guess what? We're number 3 out of like 30 people at Wager Talk for last year, and we're in the top 5 again. So we're not going to be number 1 the whole time. Like, that's out of 30 people. But what we can do is really, really show off what we can do and increase your bankroll, because your bankroll is your business. You guys know I'm not in this to sell plays. I'm in this to build my own bankroll. Every single play that I put out, I bet. So I understand the ups and flows, the ups and downs of our plays, because I feel it with my own bankroll. And there's not a lot of people that can tell you that they're betting every single one of their plays. So I treat every play with the utmost respect, and we put out nothing but the plays that we're most confident in. So let's get this weekend started off right and grab an NBA and NHL pack that is up. You get 2 plays for only 1 price. So check that out at Andy Lang at wagertalk.com. All right, let's take a look at a couple of we've talked about some of the parlay pieces. I will tell you my favorite parlay piece that just keeps hitting night in and night out is the Edmonton Oilers over 1.5 team total. If you got sports books that give you the alt lines, it's just put in your lineup or put in a parlay and just keep rolling from there. So, um, Formula One lines have come off. I would be perfectly fine with using some of the double top 10 finishes in Formula One. I believe they've got, at the time of recording this, I believe they got practice coming up. So, okay, so yeah, they got practice here. When after qualifying, take a look, and I would be riding Mercedes double top tens, McLaren double top tens, Ferrari double top tens, things like that, as long as nothing crazy happens in qualifying. So there's some really good parlay pieces after qualifying, and I believe qualifying is on Saturday, so you can take a look at that. College lacrosse, I have used this in a parlay for myself. Notre Dame. Um, I've just been steamrolling everybody in the college lacrosse playoffs, so they're getting ready to. I expect them to beat Denver here, so minus 750. So you have to find a couple of other plays to put with that one, but I would absolutely use that one. And then soccer, I believe we've talked about most of the soccer. I've talked all week about Girona. We've got that in a parlay. Don't really see anything else. Madrid, yeah, Real Madrid, you could take up minus 400. Or you guys know that I love doing the double chance. If you find teams that you think are going to win, just take their double chance on to win or tie and throw those in a parlay. I know that they can get pretty juicy, but pick your spots on teams that you really like, and then I'm sure you're going to find some really good ones. So. All right. The next thing that we have is I don't yeah, the lines have started coming out here for the French Open. And why do we bring this up? Well, Corbin is, you guys know Corbin does all of our tennis plays. So Corbin is already started researching. I will have a French Open pack up probably Saturday when he starts putting out plays. Make sure you put a note down there, and I will let everyone know on social media that once we start putting out the French Open plays, our French Open pack will come out and you'll get all plays throughout the tournament. We hit it hard and heavy to start the tournament. That's where most of the value is. I know people want to try and pick outright winners. That's not what we do. We try and do damage early and often. So that's going to be your Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's a French Open. The times can be weird. I will be the first to admit that sometimes plays come out at odd hours. So make sure you have your notifications on. If you don't know how to do that, reach out to me. The way I've done it is I created an email. It's just Andy Lang WagerTalk at gmail.com. Every play that we put out goes to that email, and I get a notification on my phone for just that email. So it's easy to set up on your phone. That way, if it's early in the morning or late at night and you've forgotten to check your account, you'll get a ding, a notification when the plays come out. So that is for the French Open plays. That pack will be out Saturday or so. So just make sure you follow us on social media. I am on Twitter at Bump Sports. That's probably the best way to follow me on social media. That's where I put out the most content and put out free plays, and that's where I'll let everyone know about the French Open. So that's kind of what we have looking forward to. Of course, we're also going to have props across MLB, across NBA, and NHL. But once again, guys, for Friday, go get this NBA and NHL pack. It's less than $20. I don't have any specials right now for long-term access, but I'm sure we'll have those starting next week. But let's get the weekend started off right. Let's cash these two bets. We're coming off a really nice winning Thursday. Looking forward to a really, really nice weekend here. So hope everyone has fun this Memorial Day weekend. Be safe out there. Enjoy your time with your friends and family. Good luck, and I will see everyone later on Props and Parlays Today.